See, hopefully we have enough light. Greetings, everyone. Dorsey's Resource. Welcome back to another session. This title of this video is going to be Open Forum Q&A and must-see documentaries that I recommend. I know it's been a while. I wanted to let you guys know I'm still here. I'm back, maybe briefly. But before we get started, I like to give a disclaimer. This video is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. Please understand everyone's individual circumstance or situation may be different. It's up to every individual competent person to please do his or her homework and research regarding the matter being discussed. This information is not to be construed as legal advice. In any event you feel you need to seek a competent professional, it is encouraged that you do so at one's own leisure. Dorsey's Resource is not liable or responsible for any misuse of this information. These are simply my opinions on the topic. With that being said, all rights are reserved. Now, I want to thank you guys for joining me. Let's get into the topic. I'll see how many we get to join in, if there will be Q&A, but I'm leaving it open. I wanted to go over some information since it had been a while since I've done a video. And, see Infinite Wave. Greetings from Irvine, California. All is well. Greetings to you, Infinite Wave. Thank you. Big shout out to you coming all the way out from the West Coast. Thank you. Great out there. But going over some information, this is like a reoccurring topic that I do because I think it's very important. I just found out some information last night that I was in one of contacts I have, which remain nameless, private. Of course, certain individuals, I would never give their name, don't share their information. I keep very private, especially, when someone you may have known for a while. But to get right into it, I found out something that startled me almost to the point I thought about even shutting my whole channel down or just changing the topic whatsoever. But I'm not going to shy away from. So this is the reason I'm going over these documentaries. There's a list I have. First of all, you can watch a lot of these documentaries for free on YouTube. Please look up Ring of Power, Empire of the City. It's still on there last time I checked. It's called Ring of Power, Empire of the City. Please look up Ring of Power, Empire of the City. Another thing, too, I may just throw out some mainstream movies I recommend watching. If you haven't saw the movie, a friend of mine a couple years ago, or maybe a year or two ago, something around that frame, I can't remember exactly, he put me up on this movie called Divergent. Please watch at least part one, Divergent. A lot of these movies are pre-programming. They're things that the ruling class plan and intend to have down the road in the future. Please check out Divergent. This is a mainstream movie, so you may have to pay for. YouTube does have it. They make you pay. Andre Butler says, greetings, bro. Greetings to you, Andre. Thank you for joining the chat. I see the looks like the Wu-Tang symbol. Yeah, I'm familiar with that group. But to get back into it, I think these documentaries are important because this individual that shared this information with me last night was it was very concerning. 7100 Warhawk said, hello, my friend. Greetings to you, Warhawk. Thank you for joining the chat. So this information was startling, I think, to the point where I don't really get scared or nothing like that, but it let me know that the cabal, the evil cabal, is still involved in sabotaging some things. They're very wicked, and I used to talk about it a lot, especially when I used to cover videos I did on the dinar, and it's the reason why I stopped talking about that. And I did get some information. I still get information shared privately. I also follow the conference calls heavily, and I have the ability to connect pieces and also follow in the financial market, because a lot of this stuff is tied in. Like, it's not a coincidence what happened with the cryptos going from the end of 2017 into 2018, where Bitcoin had got as high as 19,000. All of that has been pre-planned. There was someone I was working with. I may tell that story later, but to stay on track, mainstream movies, I went over Divergent. Please check out Hunger Games. Please check out Hunger Games. And once again, these movies are like pre-programming for what the elites are planning down the pipeline in the future, in my opinion. And also there's a radio talk show host that I follow. I'm not going to say the name. He's been censored heavily, even banned from many sites off the internet. But however, when I get a chance, I not only follow the mainstream media, but I also follow his information. Francisca Britton says, hi, greetings to you, Francisca. Thank you for joining. So I follow him, and I just wanted to mention, says I was going to watch Hunger Games tonight. That's yeah, great. Big shout out to you, Warhawk. The MB Gang says, hello, brother. MB Gang TV. Big shout out to you, MB Gang TV. Thank you for joining. So to kind of stay on track, so I don't forget, I try to acknowledge you guys. So I'm multitasking simultaneously while I'm flipping through notes. So this video and many of my videos are kind of like a freestyle. In case you don't know, like I used to rap years ago, and freestyle was like if you didn't have a topic, you would just kind of go off the top of the head and try to flow. But it would help your verbal skills and kind of help you know, your mind and you know, help exercise basically having an open mind and thinking out of sight, out of mind, basically staying fresh. Because there's a saying that if the way the universe works, if you're not expanding, then you're imploding, believe it or not, like when you're not growing. So I wanted to bring this information to you guys. So I went over, let's see, what was the first documentary? Ring of Power, Empire of the City. It's an older documentary that was done, and then I mentioned two mainstream movies, Divergent, Hunger Games. Also, please check out Alex Jones' a documentary called Endgame. It's called Endgame. It has a green logo. You can watch it for free on YouTube. Many of you all may have already saw it or watched it, but it talks about AI technology, some things that are happening with the ruling class elite are planning down a pipeline. There's critical information. You have to be able to connect the pieces from watching all of these documentaries. See, it's not about, you know, subscribing just to a particular political party, but connecting the pieces together as far as critical information that there's people in the cabal. The deep state is an umbrella term for basically criminal syndicate, a global crime syndicate that is pulling the strings at the top, that orchestrate corporate policy. Like the Davos meeting wrapped up not too long ago. It was, I heard they had high security. I didn't even realize this. So they're like on the equivalent of the Bilderberg meeting. And I guess they're part of the World Economic Forum, as they call it, happened in Switzerland. But not too long ago, the Davos meeting just wrapped up, and they discussed world policy, how they want to enslave the world population. This is real. As crazy as it may sound, contrary to popular belief, this is not conspiracy theory. This is facts. See, it's the difference between something that's theory versus something that's factual or reality. Like how I'm speaking to you guys in real time right now in this exact moment. This is reality. So keep that in mind. Conspiracy just simply means individuals conspire or collude in secrecy behind the scenes. Someone, a rapper, even mentioned, for example, that you and your wife, you're having a private discussion. That could be considered a conspiracy or collusion because it's between you and that individual. You're conspiring, whatever it may be. But theory, the next following word, is something that's theoretical. Scientifically, when you come up with a theory, that's something that hasn't been proven. But keep in mind, you have things that have happened, which are facts, that are factual. Like there was a guy, was helping a brother debate online. I have another Facebook account. And he blocked this one guy. He blocked me out, but he was trying to say that Obama didn't wiretap Trump. Now, between the Democrats and Republicans, I personally myself, I'm not a registered voter, so I'm not technically part of either party. And I know some Democrats say, well, if you're not a registered voter, then that's a vote for Trump. But the Republicans necessarily don't like when you're not registered. They want you basically to vote just as much. So that's something that the establishment, both parties agree on. They are both, you know, pushing basically their agenda. Cynthia Thomas says, hello, my brother. Greetings to you, Cynthia Thomas, to acknowledge you. So in freestyling right off the top of the head, I want to basically tell this story that you have these individuals that do certain things behind the scenes, and just because like when they say it's individuals, the person that was mentioning Obama didn't wiretap Trump, I want to say from the outside looking in, that is not true. You can look up, they have the actual photos of the people who were all involved in this. It's called the Steele dossier was part of it, and something that was paid for by the DNC with Hillary Clinton. whatever. There's documents you can look up. There's evidence. There's actually things going on behind the scenes that they don't want the general public to know about, because the cabal, sometimes if they're tipped off, then they'll try to do things to sabotage or try to slow things down that are happening. But Democrats and Republicans, a lot of times I was helping this particular brother, and they have this dirty war going back and forth. They play this semantics game. If you know about semantics, Dr. Ben Carson used to bring this up, where certain things that are not relevant, so they don't use the term wiretap anymore. You know, it's actually called, if you know this or understand this, that was old technology. Nowadays, they call it surveillance. See, the Democrats are saying he didn't wiretap. No, okay, technically you can say Obama did not wiretap Trump, but he ordered the surveillance. He okayed it, the approval to wiretap Trump Towers. They just used the pseudonym term wiretap. So you see, the Democrats, Republicans, they play the semantics game, mainly the Democrats. A lot of times they don't want to debate you when there's facts there to try to push the narrative for whatever agenda that they're trying to push. Like recently, CNN accused what's that governor down in Virginia of being a Republican, and he's actually a Democrat, for example. I looked it up when it first happened right away, because he had the blackface photo and the photo next to the guy that was dressed in KKK. But why would CNN, you know, a lot of times they'll list I for independent, or the R for Republican, or D for Democrat, but they just happen to get them mixed up this time because they want to push a narrative. That's why they were labeled as fake news. They're the mainstream media, or lamestream, because they're losing the information war. Because of that, that's why you've seen censorship step up big time. Money Boy Films in the building. What's good, family? Money Boy in the building, fam. What's up to you, Money Boy? Thank you for joining. So I'm just going over this information. It might not sound comfortable to some people, but I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'm very well studied when it comes to so-called conspiracy theory. They like to say theory, and going over that again, it's factual stuff. And I was going over documentaries, also mainstream movies. I went over Ring of Power, Empire of the City, Endgame by Alex Jones, mainstream movie. Check out Divergent. Please watch that. Hunger Games. This is what the elites, they want to push this. They want a future like this. Even they interviewed the actor Jennifer Lawrence, and I guess some people were discussing this with her about that they want this in the future, and she was like, I didn't know. You know, this is like her earlier movie, so you know they're going to say the right things at first because they don't want to damage their career. Like I heard where the actor Sean Penn spoke out about 9/11, because a lot of people know the truth that was staged. That was a staged event that was planned by cabal. Deep state is just the umbrella term to describe criminal people, bad actors. It's another term that's used. See, people like to play this word game. It's tied in like with semantics over which word. So they'll try to say based on the word you're using, they'll try to say it's not true. Says, don't forget you put us on genetic roulette. Oh, yeah, that's what's up, Money Boy. Yeah, genetic roulette, because there's movies that deal with, like, the food supply, how they poison the food. Also, there's a documentary I bought some years ago called Scientists Are Under Attack. I don't think you can watch this for free on YouTube, actually. I just want full disclosure, history, ET technology, medical cure, etc. Yeah, Infinite Wave, you're correct. They do suppress a lot of future technologies. And things I heard. That's part of what the bad actors in the cabal. It's not just about oppressing the people with the financial system worldwide, like keeping people poor, starving, you know, and these people are not the same people that are with Trump. However people feel about him, he's not with the Illuminati, the evil cabal, the criminal cabal. Because you have to ask the question. I was asking a friend of mine, if they put Trump in power, then why is he not cool with Obama, former President Bush, former President Clinton, his wife, even Jimmy Carter? Why were they all, you know, treat him a certain type of way, like the Rich Homie Quan song, a certain type of way, you know, so it just doesn't make sense that they put Trump in power, but they created this whole Russia thing too. I could go into details, more details. I could do a screen capture, but all this stuff is tied in. The cabal are very wicked, evil people, and they're part of, a lot of times, I'm not saying this is for everybody, but a lot of them belong to different secret societies, which are broken off into different fraternities and sororities. When people go to certain colleges, they become indoctrinated, brainwashed. That's why if you want to join a fraternity or sorority, what do they say they want you to do? Pledge. Pledge your allegiance to what? Who do they want you to pledge to? And if you guys can too, let's get the thumbs up buttons. Let the haters out there know, because we got some trolls too out there. But when you thumbs up my videos, lets me know you appreciate the type of work that I do, and sharing this information with you guys. That's important, and helps me rank higher in the YouTube search engine results. So if you guys can out there, appreciate you, and those who have already, get the thumbs up going on. And I really do appreciate you, because we want to send the haters out there a message, because they that's all they thrive off of, is evilness. They don't want this information put out there. They want this type of information suppressed, because they want to keep you indoctrinated. They want to keep you brainwashed. And it's like, in many cases, when I can tell by talking to certain individuals that they have this mentality where it's like you can't question them, but they can question you. No, there's supposed to be dialogue back and forth. If we want to solve this and get to the bottom of the problems in the world, we need to have dialogue with each other. Even if one side might not agree versus another, we should have dialogue. This is also open forum, done 5 minutes ago, brother. Okay. MB Gang TV, appreciate you once again in the chat. I know some of you guys can't join me that long. I do understand, and there's a plethora of information I talk about, but the reason I'm going over these documentaries too, because this cabal stuff is important. Also, another important documentary, please check out, it's called Conspiracy of Silence. It came out some years ago. It was banned. It was supposed to air on the Discovery Channel, but some copies still got out there. Please check out Conspiracy of Silence. In this documentary, you want to share this with your relatives, as I believe there will be full disclosure soon. Yes, Infinite Wave, I do believe so as well. That's part of the declassification too. A lot of stuff the cabal, the mainstream media hasn't been reporting on, by the way. Actually, that's interesting. Like, there's news that happens, like when you follow the independent media, which I do follow both, to get a fair, balanced perspective, so you're getting accurate information. And I really do. I read the articles. Says you telling the truth, man. I appreciate you. Laugh all out. Meant to hit the like button minutes ago. My fault. It's okay. Appreciate you guys can still thumbs up. Appreciate you, Francesca, MB Gang TV. So I know I'm going rambling fast here. I'm on a time frame. Going over also Money Masters. I just mentioned Conspiracy of Silence. That was a documentary that was banned some years ago. Those of you all who don't know about that, how Johnny Gosh went missing. This was on the Nancy Grace show. I know I had a relative used to watch her show a lot years ago. Because I try to appeal to different audiences, different genres too. Some of y'all who may be sympathetic about human trafficking or child trafficking going on. This is very important, because some of these people that were involved in this stuff are still around today. They haven't gone away. That's why you got to connect the pieces, connect the dots together. And when we get more people that'll wake up to the truth, we can actually change the society. We can change the entire world, because the elites, they're scared. They're panicking. They're shaking their hands. And that's why they want this censorship. They want to hack into our phones in real time out here in the next coming months. They want to monitor people. They want to try to spook you into being quiet, to not talking about this information. CJ says, what's up from Arkansas? Appreciate you, CJ. I got somebody down there. Don't know if they invited you or whatever. Some of my peeps is down in Arkansas. So big shout out to the Arkansas area. Also not too far here, maybe from the Ozarks too. Andre Butler says they cabal Illuminati infiltrated certain secret societies and later changed their mission with their twisted agenda. Yes, absolutely. Like, if you study the history behind Adam Weishaupt, who he was commissioned by Amschel Rothschild. Like, if you watch the first documentary I mentioned, just to give you guys some little tidbits, some freebies, some snippets, because I watched it and I remember some of the information it's talked about. Says Zelda Thomas says they are crooked. They have a get out of jail free card. Check it out. Lying to Congress, the False Statements Accountability Act of 19. Yes, you're correct, Zelda. because what happened with one of those CEOs of Google, their parent company Alphabet, I hear he lied about that search engine Dragonfly. He lied to Congress and said they weren't trying to implement that. When, if you follow the independent media, someone leaked out a video where Google top management or CEO level vice presidents had a memo sent out to their employees, their engineers. They didn't want this circulating around. They already have this in China, where it watches what sites you go to in real time, and if it doesn't like your political views, then it will report you. Now notice how the left is always pointing the finger at the right or whatever, but the bottom line is censorship is authoritarian. It's wrong. You know, I saw even locally here in Detroit on Fox 2 News some years ago, it said the NSA spying is illegal. It's illegal for them to wiretap, and it said it's unconstitutional. So why are they getting away with it? These people, they need to be criminally charged. These people who are working for them, they need to be prosecuted because this is a violation of the act. This is racketeering. These are other crimes. This is an invasion of privacy. You know, this is totally criminal, and people need to really be speaking out. And when you keep in mind, you put all your information out there on Facebook, Twitter, keep in mind there's even moles and agents cataloging, data mining this information, and it's going behind the scenes into what I hear called, for Facebook, it got caught secretly taking something called a social credit score. So many things are changing in a positive way. Yes, Infinite Wave, I do believe things are changing. Steve Stevens says military tribunals are on the way. Yes, you are correct. I believe I'm in agreements with you. Appreciate you, Steve, because one of the brother that I was debating online, I was assisting another brother with my other Facebook account that I have, and this guy was trying to say that Obama was not wiretap. He didn't wiretap Trump, and that's not true. That's incorrect. It's actually he ordered the surveillance. And if it was, I think James Clapper was his name, admitted on CNN that it was Obama's idea, because it was between him. You had Michael Hayden, who was like former head of the NSA, and then there was another guy. I can't think of his name, but one of Michael Hayden, I heard, actually told Trump about it. Hey, that Obama was spying on you, whatever. And Clapper came out and said it was his idea. Look up the FISA memo. Look up the Carter Page, Lisa Strozik, James Comey, the DNC, the Seth Rich murder, how he was he worked for the DNC. He was a Bernie Sanders supporter. He was the leaker, the guy that was sending information to WikiLeaks. And Hillary cheated Bernie. They don't talk about that. By the way, they just brushed that under the rug. All of this criminality. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Trump is perfect, however, but it's so much ammunition with the corruption between Obama and Hillary. If you compare the two, I was thinking about doing a video and breaking this stuff down, because I had someone, and like I say, once again, I'm not a registered voter, so I don't subscribe technically to either side. Both parties don't like the fact that I'm not registered. I don't vote, but that's just my decision. But I still pay taxes when I spend money that goes into the GDP of the economy, the gross domestic product. So understand, I still support, when you support small businesses or when you spend your money certain places, that still goes to support that individual business. It's a form of a tax. It's not just the sales tax, what you spend. That's just a percentage, but the entire amount is actually a form of a tax. That's a whole nother discussion, because I did give a disclaimer. This is not legal advice. I'm not getting into that, but to show I'm still an active citizen, so-called. It's the difference between citizens, so I have to be careful how I reframe that word. But how you operate in this economy, there's legality behind, and that's all I'll say. I have to be cryptic. Corey Haywood says, "What's up, brother?" Greetings to you, Corey. Thank you for joining. So I may go over. It's been a minute since I've been with you guys. I want to let you all know I'm still here, because that private clandestine organization that I was affiliated with, I said I didn't know if I would be coming back, but there were some people who basically were snitching on me and reporting back too, and then they tried to accuse me of something and found out it wasn't me. But it just shows you how people are, and they, like, I was told I was kicked out, but technically I wasn't. When I found out it was another guy, whatever, I didn't put these so-called documents online just because I have a YouTube channel or whatever. It says Trump is better for us than the Democrats. Yes, and I agree. He's the lesser of two evils overall from the way black people see things. I understand other people see things, but just speaking from the black community, I felt Trump was the lesser of two evils when it came to Hillary. To me, he was a much better candidate overall. I know they said they didn't think he would win. But it's just so much criminality. Like Pizzagate is real. This other guy tried to say Pizzagate is not real. There's so much evidence. There was a scandal years ago. You have some people think because they have college credentials, or you know they work for a big corporation and they're a liberal, that they trump whatever you say. Trump couldn't be bought and he's not a politician. Yes, thank you, Andre Butler. See, this is confirmation, and I need you guys to help back me up when you guys know something is true. You know somebody's lying, because Hillary Pizzagate was real. You know, why did YouTube go to great lengths to kick David Seaman off YouTube and censor his channel? He was a former writer for the Huffington Post. Did this man wrong? You know, they just put him in the gulag, mess with his PayPal, his money, where people can't even make donations to you. This is just evil to show you they want the right, so-called right, to be tolerant, but they're intolerant. And that's part of political science, is tolerance. So see, they claim they want the right to be tolerant, but they're intolerant. Now, how is that? And they're supposed to be liberal? Think about the definition of the word. They've been infiltrated by the left, which thanks to Dennis Prager pointed out. Prager University, thumbs up to you. Awesome, excellent work. See, it shows I pay attention. I'm no more than a lot of people that so-called are registered voters. They don't even know what they're freaking voting for or what the policies are about. He's an anti-Fed reserve, just like JFK and Abe Lincoln. Yes, thank you for confirmation. You know, too, and once again, guys, don't forget to thumbs up. You know, definitely lets the haters out there know, because sometimes, a lot of times, people get triggered because of what I'm saying, and they can't watch the video. Like the guy I was having a debate with, I was helping a brother on my other Facebook account. Awesome brothers, really stepped up, having a debate, you know, in the D area, D-town, you know, so I had to show the brothers some support, because these liberals, they were coming out and they were just lying. And so I feel like I can come from a perspective from the outside looking in, because I'm paying attention to the mainstream media and independent media. I'm seeing for what it is. It says, be prepared just in case if the grid goes down and a bankruptcy with the reset. Yes, thank you so much to touch on. I'll have to be taking notes, Zelda, but you are correct. There's some potential things coming in. And the cabal, the reason I went over these documentaries, the evil cabal are behind some of this stuff. Also, check out Money Masters and Monopoly Men. I always go over those documentaries. You can watch for free on YouTube. Please check out Money Masters and Monopoly Men. Explains how the banking system started. Another thing I haven't addressed is they're behind the cryptocurrencies too. You know, I discovered that all of a sudden, I would have to say that for another video because it gets more in depth. But the guy they say that invented Bitcoin, look up. They say it was Satoshi Nakamoto.
301 all units, radio check. 301 all units, radio check.
See, I'm still at the plantation. Be back.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I'm back, guys. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I didn't see he would bring down the Fed. True that at Wave. Yep, thank you, Andre. Infinite Wave, Zelda Thomas. You are correct. Thank you for backing me up on that. So just going over this information is I was backing this brother up. So he also tried to say Pizzagate wasn't real. No, that is not true. I'm going to go into the details why. Anthony Weiner, there was a scandal before Pizzagate that even broke out with Anthony Weiner years ago. He was like a senator, a politician out of New York. He was married to a lady named Huma Abedin. Huma Abedin was a friend, says, yes, sir, Corey Hayward, the dark web is here, cryptocurrency started. Yes, you're correct. So Anthony Weiner, his wife, Huma Abedin, she was a good friend of Hillary Clinton. They both were actually at the inauguration. I saw a notice when they were walking down the street. They were crying afterwards, or Huma was, she had her face down. But she helped work Hillary's campaign with, you know, when she was going against Bernie and going against Trump or whatever in the controversial 2016 election. And Anthony Weiner, in case you guys don't know, I'm telling the story, confirmation. If you guys don't understand Pizzagate, give you guys a homework to look up. Anthony Weiner says Pizzagate is 1,000% real. Yes. And CNN would try to label this fake news, but this is real news. This is facts right here. What I'm mentioning, this is reality. They can get triggered no matter what. That's why I said, guys, don't forget the thumbs up, because, you know, it proves the haters wrong, because a lot of times they won't want to watch this video. But that and I was going to finish getting on that radio talk show host earlier that I watched. He actually shows the documents. When I watch like the mainstream media, sometimes in rare instances would they show evidence behind certain stories that they report on. But this radio talk show host, he shows the websites, and I'll look it up. It'll be multiple sites with articles about this particular topic. And sometimes it's from the mainstream media will admit stuff like the New York Times, the Washington Post. It's too much evidence for it not to be true. Thank you, CJ. Yes, they will actually admit that it's evidence out there. So when I saw this brother being attacked by these guys, I had to back the brother up like, this is not true. They're lying. So this guy was trying to say Pizzagate is not real, by the way. His name is Joseph Thurman. He blocked me out. But he was also, this guy, he was a clown guy called. He was posting a lot of stuff, I guess, to get likes from women on Facebook, of famous black TV actors' birthdays and stuff like that. He doesn't even honor the true people that played a historical role in Black History Month, but he was used to post and still does a lot of goofy stuff. And then he claims was trying to call this other guy the conspiracy theorist. It's funny when people try to accuse you of being a conspiracy theorist, they're into a lot of the cartoonish, fanboyish, goofy stuff. You know, I researched the actual facts. There's a difference to distinguish between the two versus something that's fact. Now, with Pizzagate, the backstory, there was a scandal prior to Pizzagate with Anthony Weiner. Remember, he got caught texting a girl. Even one of the late night talk show hosts, I think Leno, when he was still on the air, don't quote me, he joked about it. He called it Wienergate. You know, he was using the analogy to further something else being silly, you know, the Wienergate or whatever. But he was married to Huma Abedin. Huma Abedin was good friends with Hillary Clinton. Now, you might wonder, okay, what does this lead to? He had a laptop. Keep it simple. He had a lot of information that these NYPD detectives and police in New York discovered was evidence on a laptop that connected Hillary Clinton, some other people, to this international domestic pedophile ring, basically, to Jerry Epstein. You've seen people were trying to associate him, say he was friends with Trump or whatever. He just had a membership at, I heard he paid a fee at one of Trump's clubs or whatever. But Trump was not friends with them like that. They were trying to pit on him. Jerry Epstein was actually closer to Bill Clinton. I saw the log where he rode a private jet with the comedian Chris Tucker and Bill Clinton, by the way. There's evidence on that. And I saw the radio talk show host. I saw the what do they call, the aviation log or whatever, how they have to put down, I guess if it's a private plane, if it's not commercial, they put down the names, they log the names of the people who flew. Just like if you go to work, if you're still on the old system and you have to sign in. See, people are not processing this stuff, and this stuff is not being reported on by the mainstream media, the lamestream media, because the lame duck media, they're lying. They don't want people to know the real truth. So just keep that in mind. This information I'm going over, some stuff I haven't really gone as in depth. Zelda Thomas says they came out with purchasing blood with 17 to 24-year-old leads. Okay, I didn't get finished seeing the rest. It's pretty heavy stuff. Yeah, it's pretty deep stuff. So I just encourage everyone to look into it. So what happened, make a long story short, NYPD police, the detectives, and there's a guy online, I don't know his YouTube channel, is a black guy based out of New York. He said he had a friend that works for the NYPD. This shows evidence when there's more people talking about the same thing, maybe from a different perspective, but 6 degrees of separation, saying he knew a detective and said when they saw this tape that which they allegedly believed that it appeared to be Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin skinning this little young girl's face or whatever, they were vomiting and throwing up because it was so sick. This stuff was real. But at the time, Obama was still president, so they were going to release a press conference. The press conference didn't happen because the attorney general at the time, Loretta Lynch, threatened the NYPD police. I'm not saying that they're perfect. Every group has their flaws, even the court system, because there's people that want to romanticize or this thing, the police are become evil all of a sudden. That's an agenda because the globalists are trying to get the police on their side. The ruling class elite, the criminal global crime syndicate family, they want the police on their side. So they want the police people to capitulate, to surrender by threatening them. So she said she was going to indict several NYPD police officers with the Eric Gardner incident. That's the guy who was selling Lucy cigarettes. Sadly, he was choked out to death. Rest in peace to the brother. So, you know, that's how they use blackmail. They're like, if we got some dirt on you, they're like, okay, we're going to get you with another thing that's totally separate just to punish somebody else. That's not saying all the officers were involved, because when you talk about detectives, you also have officers, they don't do any work out in the field. There's people that just help solve crimes. They'll come to the crime scene when a murder's been committed. This is how you connect dots. Like, people say conspiracy theory, but one thing they don't bring up is how you connect the pieces and get factual information together. This is what detectives do. They piece clues together. They'll come to the crime scene where they weren't there after a crime has been committed, but in many cases, they're able to find out who did it, who committed the crime or incident, because they collect evidence. So this is a difference. What I'm going over is a genuine evidence as to material fact that Pizzagate was real, and the FISA memo with Obama's wiretap, they just call it, remember, wiretap is just an old word. It's really surveillance. He surveilled the Trump administration or whatever because he saw him as a threat. Obama was the one that weaponized the rappers and the entertainers, the sports athletes, to be all against Trump. That's why you see this big thing, because they feel like they can get control of the media. He passed the law before he left office. Believe it or not, you can look it up. I've seen the evidence. So you can take my word. I'm not a person that's just making stuff up. I saw the documents where he declared it critical infrastructure. So I just wanted to share that, you know, information with you guys to let you guys know that this stuff is real. And it's no joke. People have even lost their lives. So another thing I used to say, if you can support the people that have behind these documentaries, try to do that. I understand some of you don't have the money. That's why I will mention a lot of documentaries you can watch on YouTube for free. But you guys have to understand, you want to understand sovereignty, because I know some people come to my channel to learn about the redemption stuff, but you need to understand the Illuminati, the cabal. I'm not trying to spook you. I'm not trying to scare you. But it goes hand in hand. You got to connect the dots, because if you don't understand the people pulling the strings at the top, and they do exist, this is real, beyond a shadow of a doubt. There's overwhelming evidence, which some people mention in the chat. Then they won't. That'll help you guys get it. Corey Hayward says Marina Abramovic is the spirit cooking lady who was cool with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Yes, you are correct. She was somebody else that was part of this whole thing. I even hear Kanye West's wife, Kim, because, you know, Kanye was invited to some of these parties. Remember, Cat Williams talked about this stuff. He was invited to these mansion parties because at first they didn't kind of know the way Cat's appearance looked, if he played for the same team or not, based on how he appeared. So Cat was connected in Kanye. So a lot of these people came out, said they didn't want to be part of this stuff. Infinite Wave says it's all connected. Yes, you got to imagine, at the end of the day, the difference is these people are rich. They just have money where in some instances they don't have to worry about losing their jobs or being threatened. Like, there's some things that happened to me at my job, some stuff I had already mentioned in a previous video, where a guy that I work with had snitched on me, told him I was doing YouTube videos in my work uniform. Lord Scientist in the building says, salute, peace to you, family. Lord Scientist in the building, fam. Appreciate you, scientists. You know, we go back. So this stuff is real that I'm going over. It's people that's lost their lives over this stuff. But, you know, there's awakening minds, people that are like, we're not putting up with this stuff anymore. There's a lot of minorities, black people who are waking up. And I encourage you guys, don't be afraid. Spread the word to your relatives or whatever, and get the truth out there, because these are some concerning times that are coming down the pipeline. The Illuminati, the cabal, is behind a lot of this stuff that's happening. They're orchestrating it. There's good groups that are known, I know it sounds like an oxymoron, as the good cabal that's trying to restore balance and justice in the world. And there's so much evidence out there from what I've gone over. I've just given you guys tidbits of certain information to confirm that it's real. You can look up, but I went over that documentary. Please check out Conspiracy of Silence. Also some names to look up too. Some videos. Look up former FBI agent Ted Gunderson. Watch his videos on YouTube. Please check out Ted Gunderson. Watch his stuff. This is going to show evidence some of these people are still around to this day. Check out Kathy O'Brien, the former sex slave, dealing with MK Ultra. Check out Bryce Taylor, her videos. You can watch for free on YouTube. The disappearance of Johnny Gosch. Look up the books on Amazon. The Franklin cover-up. Look up about the Franklin cover-up. Look up the story of John D. Kemp. He was a lawyer that helped this guy, John Benassi, who was used by the cabal. He was kidnapped himself, and then they used him to kidnap other children. They called it the Stockholm Syndrome, but he helped investigators and people uncover how this international ring, child pedophile ring, some years ago had went all the way up to the White House. This during the Reagan's administration. But they say, too, you got to understand, Reagan really wasn't running things. The Bushes were really in charge behind the scenes. Because remember, Bush's grandfather was head of the CIA, the one that just died, who some believe allegedly, in my opinion, I think it's true, he was involved with, no doubt, with the Kennedy assassination. Because the deep state, of course, they didn't like Kennedy. It was a known fact. And this is Black History Month too, but J. Edgar Hoover, who was former FBI agent, it's a known fact he didn't like Martin Luther King, he didn't like JFK, he didn't like Robert Kennedy, and he did some really wicked stuff. They even made a movie about him, Lyndon Baines Johnson. So they were deep state, like what they call today. They try to say, this guy was debating, try to say deep state is not real. It's just another term for bad actors or criminal people that are not swearing to uphold their oath of office to the Constitution, to serve or protect, you know. So trust me, I trust the plan. That's what I meant to say earlier. So bad actors, or when we say deep state, the people like CNN, they try to make it, when Don Lemon says globalists, we're referring to ruling class elite. This is not a semantics game. Global just encompasses the entire world. It's, you can say, criminal global syndicate. They're a criminal network of elite people at the top. They just have a lot of money, but they're evil. Their personality. They are people who are malevolent. They don't have our best interest at heart. They do things subversively. They are the subversives. The few who rule the world view the masses as sheeple and useless eaters to be used at their disposal. Yes, you are correct. Thank you for confirming, Andre Butler in the chat. Lord Scientist says the followers of Yahshua are standing up and exposing the enemy and his minions. Yes, that's correct. Light workers come in different forms. You know, even though I grew up in the church, spirituality, your body gives off a negative and positive charge. So remember, keep in mind, different religions are just an extension of one's character. They're different spiritual disciplines. Whether you're Muslim, you're Christian, you're Buddhist, you're Hindu, they have some similarities to them too. A friend of mine was pointing out that Qigong, actually, with how Christians speak in tongues, has some similarities to Qigong, he was explaining to me. So it's just a different interpretation. Says Virginia governor in New York, Andrew Cuomo, made abortion legal until birth. Unbelievable. Yes, I've been hearing about that. This is how the cabal, they're striking back, because there's a lot of things that Trump is doing to try to stop or reverse the evil that they've tried to make acceptable. Because they threaten people, they force people to try to lose their jobs. Things, you know, I myself went through some things. I could have to probably do a whole separate video, so I've already gone over my time. But I thank you guys definitely for joining me. Know it's been a minute, and I'm going over some high-powered information. Also, once again, don't forget to thumbs up. Let's get the thumbs up buttons going on so far. So, you know, like I said, once again, to reiterate, it definitely it lets the haters know you confirming, you appreciate the work that I do, what I'm sharing. And it's good seeing you guys, spending time with you guys again, because this is not about me. I'm not trying to get no glory. Says Corey Haywood, don't doubt yourself because you're on point. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate you for confirming. You know, and that's good, you know, because if people take the time and just have an open mind, if things are not comfortable, if you're not used to seeing things from a comfortable perspective, I can understand. Yes, Infinite Way. Religion was created to separate us. Yes. CJ says, great seeing you, bro. Appreciate it. Yes. To touch on what Infinite was saying, Andre Butler says, I tried to reach you on Messenger. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, Messenger, which channel account you're referring to? Which Messenger, Andre, to be more specific? Because I have a personal Facebook account, and I have some others too, but I'm doing some things too for security purposes. So I'm not sure if you're under that same name or that same account, because sometimes people use different names on different social media accounts too, by the way. And I have to do things for security purposes myself, because like I said, to reiterate, there is some things that happen. And I also, as you guys can obviously see, I'm on the graveyard shift right here. So, you know, Facebook, okay. But just let me know. It depends. I'm not sure if it's, do you know, is it my personal or if it's my my main resource page or whatever too. So just I have to check it out. Again, I'm not sure what name. If you're under the same name, I have to look it up. Zelda Thomas says, does not need Congress. Yes, in a sense, yes, this is my name. Okay, cool. I got you, Andre. So Zelda Thomas, to address that really quick, I think we do need in our government, we do need checks and balances. And the pot, like you have, you know, the three bodies of government. You have the executive branch, the legislative, and judicial, and they help keep all each other in check, by the way. So it's just something to keep in mind. But what has happened is bad actors, people part of different secret societies, because many times in order to get these jobs, just to give a short synopsis, they make you pledge through a fraternity, sorority, whether it may be aka Delta, Alpha, Kappa, even Freemasons, Eastern Stars. It's a pledging process to get you to submit. Now, I'm not saying all of the people that are part of these organizations. You have some really good people that think outside of the box, that do try to help out. But what's happened is some of these bad actors, people that have a criminal mindset, they feel like they're above the law. They want to get away with stuff, and they don't want to do the people right. So that's the problem, is the checks and balances are off. It says, hit me on email, no longer on Facebook and Messenger. We'll explain later. Okay, scientists, I was wondering, what's up? Yeah, shoot me an email, too, if you still got my email as well. But I think I still have your email. I have to look it up, see which account it's on. But definitely, you know. So with that said, guys, I've gone over my time. I appreciate you. I'm also on minds.com. I'm on gab.ai. I just created a basic account. So if you guys are on there, that's another thing. These are alternate social media accounts because of all the censorship with YouTube. Just don't depend on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I am on, you can follow me at Dorsey's Resource on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, of course, but I'm also at Dorsey's Resource, minds.com, gab.ai, and I'm also Dorsey's Resource 2019 Instagram account as well. Not really on there too much. I'm still learning, just to give you guys a chance to reach out to me. You know, I am private. There's certain things I have to do. Maybe I have to explain that in a different video. But if you want to follow me, you appreciate my work. Infinite Way says, thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you as well. Once again, don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up. And I'll thank you guys for joining me. Until next time, take care.